Maori carving is diverse and deeply symbolic of the people's ancestors. Every carving meant something and was irreplaceable. Before the arrival of European Maori literature, stories and legends were handed down orally but also through weavings and carvings, some carvings being over 500 years old. How has this piece of cultural importance changed? A master carver was highly considered. The Maori believed that the gods created and communicated through the master carvers. Carving used to be a tapu art, subject to the rules and laws of tapu. The pieces of wood falling aside as the carver worked were never thrown away, neither were they used for cooking of food. Women were not permitted near the carvings. The history, traditions, language and religion of the Maori make up an integral part of the carving art. Felling a tree was to cut down a descendant of Tane, the god of forest and man. Before committing such an act, a karakia was recited by the tauhanga in order to ensure that the act of felling and transporting an offspring of Tane could be carried out safely. It's clear that technological advances in the form of tooling and machines have impacted the art. However, it's difficult to put a measure on how much and in which direction. Jared Mullender from Native Woodcraft offers some insight into the history and contrast between traditional and New Age carving.
So we're looking at a kodiari there. I was told by a guy last night that the recess is there for locking into your spine and ripping out your whole spinal cord in one hit, just like Predator does. Carving on that's about 8 minutes. I only do one side, so it's pretty efficient. So the machine ends up looking something on the left side. We'll do 6 in about half an hour, and then sanding's about 5 minutes each. So all the material we use is pine, comes from the west coast South Island, a bit denser down there, grows slow, gets less sunlight. The expansion rings are closer together, carves are much nicer. The pine keeps the weight down, keeps the price down. We're competing directly with the Chinese imports, which are pressed and made in plastic. So we've got to try and be economic and environmentally friendly. We're about the third largest manufacturer in New Zealand, providing the carvings to tourist shops. Our stuff gets anywhere between Whangarei down to Queenstown and even further. We've got shops in Australia. Some of my stuff's down Lambton Key and at Kirkcaldy and Staines. We're the only carving manufacturer to have stuff in there. The Ministry of Maori Affairs went down, bought out one of our products and presented one to a Prince of Saudi Arabia, so that's a little feather in our cap.
Do you feel that you're exploiting the culture at all?
There is a wee partition of exploitation. I mean, we're making things for 30, 40 bucks, whereas they are worth, if you're making it from hand, 1,500 bucks and upwards. I mean, these things that I've seen that are literally priceless because you can't replace them. We're giving people jobs that are at home carving and trying to sell stuff on their own, whereas this is keeping your hand in it, they're keeping busy, and yeah, it's quite neat to see some of the stuff come out of our workshop.
Wood carvings are keepers of Maori culture. Enabling an intriguing peek into Maori history, the carved objects function as archives, museums, storytellers and ambassadors. This notion also matches with the Maori belief that a perfectly carved masterpiece speaks to the beholder. Sculpting a Culture will thoroughly examine and attempt to understand how the progression in European culture and technology in New Zealand has influenced this important art.